Hey there folks, how's it going? It's NotSoLivid, and welcome to the third season of Pokemarch Madness. Last year we had a very good theme. We had a very cohesive theme throughout the whole thing. We just did gym leaders, and it worked really nicely. This year is a little less nice. It's gonna be a little more chaotic, is perhaps the right word for it. But I think it'll still be fun regardless. The theme for this year is characters, which I understand is extremely broad. So we're gonna cover all sorts of things this year. We got champions, we got Elite Four members, we have professors, we have mom characters, we have side characters, all sorts of stuff, just all sorts. So it's gonna be a lot of variety. We're not going to be able to sort of do a sort of grand finals thing like last year because they don't really like necessarily interact together. They're all sort of independent brackets, but regardless, I think it will still be a fun time, and I think I'll enjoy it. I hope you will also enjoy it as well. Josh and Reese, Just Jershon, Yeti Plays, Yeti Hype, Yetiness, Man of a Million Channels, are going to be doing this as well. Their links will be in the description. Links to all the brackets will also be in the description. I made them all, so you're free to use them. If you want to share your takes with me, you can do so in Josh's Discord or on Twitter or whatever. But without further ado, let's jump into our first bracket. Alright, here we are. The first bracket we are doing is Pokemon Champions. To make this, I just went off of what was on Bulbapedia and also added in 3 of my own because there was nothing for Gen 7, so I added in Hau and Kukui, who are technically kind of like champions. Hau not really, because I think he challenges you after or something. I can't remember exactly, but Kukui technically falls into like a champion kind of role. As well, I added N because in Black and White, when you're supposed to go face Alder, he's like, yo, I got beat. And N beat him, so then you end up battling N, and at that point, technically he's the champion, so he's in here. And I also just like N. So he's in here because he technically at one point was a champion. The first round matchups, I think for the most part, are going to be pretty easy. If need be, I will pull up their teams and look at them. But for the most part, I think I can just sort of go off of gut feeling and not really have to think much about it. So like for instance, first matchup, we have Blue versus Diantha. I've never played Gen 6, so Blue's gonna win, and also it's Blue. First rival, first champion. You go through the Elite Four back in Red, Blue, Yellow, or Fire Red, Leaf Green, I guess. You go through and you beat Lance and you're like, hey ho, I'm the champion, whoop-de-doo. And he's like, psych, your rival who's always been one step ahead of you beat me first. He's the champion. You have to beat him to be the champion. Cool battle, good build up to the battle, super fun, super cool rival as well. Just a good character. And Diantha, you don't stand a chance. Sorry, I haven't played your game. Likewise, Hal's kind of a pushover, and I don't much care for him, so Iris is gonna win our second matchup. But like I said, first round's pretty easy. First round's pretty easy most of the way through, I think. I like Iris as a character. Dragon trainers just in general are cool, right? Hau, he's got the same rival thing, like Blue, but he's not nearly as good of a rival as Blue is, so it just doesn't, it's not the same sort of thing. I guess Hau being more friendly sort of character, even as a rival, fits with Alola more, kind of, but regardless, I don't think he's a good champion. Technically, I don't think he was even ever the champion, but he's in here to make 16. So whatever, he lost, who cares. Lance versus Alder. It's kind of interesting. So and I'll kind of already talked about this. When you would normally have faced Alder in Black and White, you don't, because he lost, and you face N instead. So if you want to face Alder, you have to go back through after you beat the main game, go back in post-game, rebeat the Elite Four, and then you get to face Alder. So it's sort of like the Steven treatment for, like, Emerald. Not exactly, because Steven's just sort of in Meteor Falls doing his thing, and you just sort of are like, hey, you're here. I'm gonna battle you now. Alder, you have to beat the Elite Four to face him. Lance was the champion in Gen 1 until Blue beat him. Is the champion in Gen 2. Dragon Boy, he's a cheater though. He's a cheater with his dragons because he's got illegal Dragonites. And I don't stand for cheaters, therefore Alder's gonna win. I don't know. Alder's also kind of a cool character. Lance doesn't really have much of a backstory to him, as far as I know. He just sort of is a dude with dragons. Okay, this is just something in general Black and White does really well, is stories. I mean, it's a Pokemon game. The story's only so good, right? Pokemon is not known for their stories, but as far as Pokemon game stories go, Black and White is, I think, easily the best story, and has very good characters too. Generally does a good job of giving them sort of backstories. Like Alder's backstory is like, which in part of it's kind of not even unveiled until Black and White 2. He was training, but then his partner Pokemon died, and it sort of changed his perspective on things, and now he's less like about being, I want to be the strongest person. He's just sort of, he just wants to like sort of experience things. That's more his sort of vibe, which I'm down with. And now we have Peony and Cynthia. I'm gonna be real, I don't know who Peony is. So Cynthia wins. And it's Cynthia, so she's gonna win anyway, obviously. I mean, come on, she's something. Cynthia's something, that's for sure. Garchomp nightmare flashbacks. and then in BDSP, not that I play BDSP, but so I've heard, is they went a little crazy in giving her like a competitive team. Like what comes to mind is Toxic Orb Marvel Scale Melodic. Yeah, that's pretty something. Next up, Red versus Kukui. This is tough, because I do like Kukui. I think he's cool. I think he's cool as a professor. I think he's cool. Just a cool character. He's a good character, and just sort of a fun character. But Red. I mean, you gotta give it to Red, right? He's silent protagonist, comes back as sort of like that secret final boss kinda character in Gen 2, and he appears a bunch throughout the other games as sort of like, again, that sort of secret kind of character that you can just sort of come across and end up battling in like the post-game battle tower-esque sort of modes that a lot of the games have. And he's the main dude. he is the main dude. He started it all, right? You gotta give him props. Sorry, Kukui. Kukui, you would beat either of these two. I'll tell you that. Wallace is okay, I guess. Leon, I haven't played Gen 8. And Charizard's overrated. Sorry. Am I gonna give it to Wallace? I don't know. I think I'm gonna give it to Wallace. I don't really know why. I guess I just like... I like Gen 3 better. Sorry, Leon. N versus Mustard. I'm gonna give it to N because, again, I haven't played Sword and Shield. So, not that it would have mattered because N would win anyway. N is one of my favorite characters in Pokemon just as a whole. He's just a very good character. Very well done character in like his story and how his character just sort of develops throughout and then comes back in Black and White 2 as sort of a hero character. It's very cool. Very good character. The whole like battle of beliefs sort of theme that is Gen 5 makes him just a very memorable character. And then Trace versus Steven. I mean, it's the jokiest of joke matchups. Trace is lame. Trace is stinky. Nobody likes Trace. He's just bad blue. He's just infinitely worse blue. Just a loser. Just a stinky loser of a rival character. And just as bad as a champion. Do not care for him at all. Steven's dope. Steven's sweet. He's a great character. And he's got a sick team, dude. Just a sick team. Next up, Blue versus Iris. Once again, it's gonna be Blue because it's Blue. He's just a great character. Again, the build up to his fight and how they unveiled it, very cool. Very good character, very great character. Alder versus Cynthia. Once again, extremely easy because it's Cynthia. for a lot of reasons. Cynthia pretty? Also, she's an intimidating individual in like the best way. And she also has the great piano music leading up to her fight. Red versus Wallace is once again gonna be Red because it's Red. And I don't much care for Wallace. His staple team is so sick. It's so sick. Pikachu, Snorlax, 3 starters, and they gave him a freaking Espeon, dude. Heck yes. Espeon best evolution. Don't at me. Espeon best evolution. Yeah. Red gets to easily go ahead of Wallace. N versus Steven. This one's it's not even a little tough actually, because once again, he's at least like top 3, right? He's at least like one of my top 3 favorite characters in the Pokemon games. Just such a good character. Such a good character. And honestly, I don't even remember what his team is. I gotta look it up. What's your team? And he's got kind of a sick team. Too. Zekrom or Reshiram, depending. Caracosta, Vanillux, Archeop, Zoroark, Klinklang. I always remember the Zoroark because I always forget about it. And then I'm like, oh, he sent out his freaking Vanillux, dude. Hit it with a flamethrower, and then it's like normal effective, and I'm like, squeeze me, sir? Squeeze me? You should be dead. And it's like, psych, I'm a Zoroark. Here's a Focus Blast. And then I die. Probably not. It probably misses the Focus Blast, let's be real. Yeah, N's just a great character. Not that Steven's a bad character, but it's a tough Final Four to crack, Steven. Sorry, buddy. It's a tough Final Four to crack. Now this gets actually, like, difficult. This is tough. Blue versus Cynthia. Blue versus Cynthia. Ugh. Okay. So this is the champion bracket, right? There are other brackets where these characters may reappear, right? So like Blue's in the rival bracket too. Red's in the playable characters bracket. N's in the rival bracket. And N's also in the villain bracket. Right? So he shows up a fair few times. Cynthia is only in this one, but I'm not gonna advance her because she's only in this one. But I'm saying this because I need to regard them specifically as champions, not like I need to disregard some of the rival aspect for Blue. So like all that precursor stuff leading up to the champion fight. Yes, he's still your rival, right? And the build up to the fight is good. But I don't need to concern myself with, like, fighting him at Silphco, right? That's irrelevant to this. And likewise, I guess I have to disregard, like, Red being the playable character and stuff like that. We'll get to that, though. I have to think of him in his Gen 2 form, specifically, because that's when he's, like, I guess you could say, Champion Red. But Blue versus Cynthia. We're gonna look at the teams. I think we gotta look at the teams. Oh, that's right. She shows up in Black and White too. I forgot about that. And she shows up in freaking Sun, Moon, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. And yeah, I didn't remember that. Yeah, it's just a freaking sick team. Just a nutty team. Good, because she's not like type themed. She's just sick. She's just got a sick team. Spiritomb, Roserade, Togekiss, Lucario, Melodic, Garchomp. I mean, come on, dude. That's a great team. And then Blue's team. Very true to Red, Blue, Yellow. In fact, literally true to Red, Blue, Yellow, I think. Pidgeot, Alakazam, Rhydon, Gyarados, Arcanine, Venusaur. Oh, cool team, dude. And his rematch teams, he gets a T-Tar. In place of who? Who's the T-Tar in place of? Probably Rhydon. And then Heracross in place of Pidgeot. I think I give it to Cynthia. Excuse me. I think I give it to Cynthia. I'm sorry, Blue. But in terms of champion energy, Cynthia's got just so much champion energy. It's insane. It's just wild. She is like what you think of when you think of a Pokemon champion. And then between Red and N, I just had N's team pulled up. I can't remember what it was though. Yo, he's got so many different teams in Black and White too. Like, he's got a team for each season. And they're entirely different. There's nothing the same. Oh, his winter team's sick. That's really cool, actually. How they season theme his teams. That's kind of cool. I like that. But I think I give it to Red. Again, just because, like, he's just very iconic as a champion. Just an extremely iconic champion. Given that you were him and became the champion, and then you get to face him in later games, is cool. Very cool. I also just like this sort of silent archetype sort of character. It's cool. Very cool. Very cool, Red. Sorry, N. You'll get plenty of other chances. Believe me. Cynthia versus Red. Cynthia versus Red. Which, for some reason, I don't think is hard anymore. I don't think this is a tough choice. So I said something in the last round about one of these champions. I said one of them is just what you think of when you think of a Pokemon champion, and that's Cynthia. You just think of, she's just like very, I don't know, just the way her character is, her personality, and just how she acts and talks and stuff in the games. She's just champion energy. It's just extreme champion energy. Cynthia wins the champion bracket. Oh man, congratulations, Cynthia, on being a big fat winner. Not really fat. You're not actually fat, but you are a winner. Well, that's my choice. I would love to know how your bracket would look. You can fill it out. Link will be in the description. Like I said, you can send it to me. Also, check out Josh and Reese, Josh Jershin, Yeti. That'll be on Yeti Plays. Again, links in the description. They're doing this as well. We're sort of doing them in whatever order except for our final bracket. So I don't know when they'll do this, but as they do them, I'll just sort of throw them in the description so you can watch them. Cool? Cool. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time with a new bracket.